Pregame.com.
Pregame.tv, we're going to break down UFC 158, a little contrast to the March Madness. This one will be in Montreal. I know nothing about the UFC, but I'm consider myself to be one of the better bettors in the world. So VR,
they all cash the same, right?
Tell me what I should be, who I should be playing on, and I'll talk about it.
Yeah. You got to take the mic off right away and head to the sportsbook right afterwards and bet Jake Ellenberger against Nate Marquardt. Right now, you got to lay $1.60. I think it's going to continue to go up. I really think it's the right side. First of all, the cliche that's overused in all fight game, whether it's boxing, UFC, is that styles make fights. But the truth is, it is one of the most important factors because, you know, it's not a team sport. It's an individual sport. And stylistically, you want to see how guys match up and what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. And when you look at this matchup, it's a stylistic nightmare for Marquardt. The problems he's had are against guys that are just like Ellenberger. Number one, he's a southpaw. And when you look at Ellenberger, he's so hard to hit. Defends 70% of his strikes, defends 93% of his takedowns. He's going to be in your face. And the only time the fight's going to go to the ground is if he wants it to go there. So anyone they could bully Marquardt around, he doesn't do well against. And Ellenberger's one of those guys. Bottom line is this. If this fight happened before Ellenberger lost to Catman, I was at that fight. It was at the Palms, and he just got caught. And when it comes to boxing, when it comes to UFC, sometimes guys just get caught flush, and there's nothing you could do about it.
That gal almost lost with the chokehold, right?
Exactly.
And she's unbeatable.
Ronda Rousey. She almost got caught. And with MMA, more importantly, it's because you could get submitted. It's not just a knockout. There's just so many ways to lose, and guys just get caught. And that's what happened with him. If not, he was considered one of the rising stars, one of the elite in this weight division. He was supposed to be the next big name. And all of a sudden, it just set back his career a little bit. And I think that's why you're really getting line value. And you couple that with the fact Marquardt's got the name. He was an ex-UFC fighter, went to Strikeforce after he pissed off Dana White and failing the drug test. And he went to Strikeforce. He won a title. But if you look, he fought last 2 months ago. He's now 33 years old. He fought 2 months ago, and he went 5 full rounds in one of the most punishing fights I've ever seen him in. I mean, he took a lot of punishment in that fight, and now he's got to come back and fight 2 months later. I mean, this is as bad of a spot as you're going to get. And if you want to kind of compare it to boxing, it's what happened in the second fight with Ali and Sonny Liston. They were supposed to meet. Ali has a hernia. They postponed the fight. Liston, who was claimed to be in his 30s, but he was in his 40s. Everyone knew that. Mm-hmm. Now, all of a sudden, a guy that was peaking in the gym at that age, he's got to wait, retrain, and peak again. It's not going to happen. And I think that's what you're going to see here with a 33-year-old Marquardt. He peaked for that fight 2 months ago. He is not going to be – you cannot peak after getting beat up like that. Peak for a fight like this.
Unless you're Rocky Balboa.
It ain't going to happen.
Clubber like.
It ain't going to happen.
Sounds good to me. Some people don't like to lay $1.60.
Exactly.
And I personally, I don't mind laying $1.60, but I can see it kind of ties up the money.
I'll lay $200 if the true odds are 3, right?
Right, for people, exactly. But for people, I'll lay $800.
It's 1,000.
I'm the guy who got the Super Bowl right every single year. I bet no overtime. I bet people like what's your winning streak of the Super Bowl? I've won them all. But I digress. If people don't want to lay 160, there's something. Maybe they wheel them in with a bunch of parlays with other stuff.
Exactly. You want to look to parlay them, and one of the parlays that I think the main event. I mean, there's a lot of chalk there in having to bet George St. Pierre over Nick Diaz. But again, I just think this is another one where styles make fights. That's why the price is this high. They're fighting in Quebec. The only thing with St. Pierre is don't be emotional. We all know in boxing and in MMA, an emotional fighter isn't a smart fighter. So we know he doesn't like Diaz, but I think he's professional enough to not let that affect him one bit. and he's just going to take this fight wherever he wants to go. He's a beast. It's that simple. I tried to look for reasons to bet Diaz because I love the kid as a fighter, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't find reasons to take the plus 300, put it that way. I just could not find enough reasons. I said if they're standing, St. Pierre's got the advantage. If it goes to the ground, it's because St. Pierre took it there. He's the better wrestler. He'll be able to pass his guard. It's like anywhere it goes, he's going to dominate this fight. So for me, it's simple. Tie up Ellenberger with the main event GSP if you don't want to bet that minus 160 like I'm going to be doing. And I think you're going to cash a parlay.
So maybe people want to play parlays. They might, if they're going to bet a dime, they might put like 500 on this two-teamer you're going to go ahead and give out, and then maybe pick a couple basketball games you like, bet 200 on Ellenberger with one team, 300 with another team.
Exactly.
Wheel them all into a key game parlay.
That's
probably key game parlay. Let's make it official then.
UFC 158 in Canada. I'm going to go ahead and back Jake Ellenberger over Nate Marquardt. I'm going to lay the 160, and I'm going to tie him up with GSP, who's definitely going to beat Diaz. Believe me, I'm a big fan of Diaz, but this is just not a fight he's going to win. Not against GSP, not in Canada. He just doesn't match up well with that kind of fighter. So go ahead, tie up the parlay. Like Steve said, wheel it with NBA and college basketball and make some money Saturday night.
And the only advice when you do wheel it, make sure you're not getting robbed on the line. Like if you got a minus 160 one place and you want to play the parlay, don't lay $1.75 and take the worst of it. Make sure you're getting the same number so you get an equivalent bet on that first leg. Good. I'll go ahead and look to do that. This has been fun. I'm excited with March Madness coming up here.
This is the best time. This is amazing.
Exactly.
Baseball starts soon.
Well, yeah.
Come on.
All right.
NBA playoffs around the corner.
These guys are going to get me. They're going to get me into the.
Yeah, of course. You're going to love by halfway through the season, you're going to be wearing a baseball jersey on the set.
Well, we'll see about that. One thing I will be tuning in.
Coming in with the.
Later on, we're going to have Marco D'Angelo on pregame.tv. He's going to be in with another handicapper, breaking down some of the March Madness and some of the games coming up. And real exciting, next week, we're going with a concentrated effort. We're going to be doing videos both on all week, Monday and Tuesday. We're going to be on Monday, guys are going to be breaking down the Thursday games, and I'll be here on Tuesday. You going to be here VR on Tuesday?
Bringing the sunflower seeds too, like in the dugouts.
Excellent. So we will be breaking down the Friday games, give you full coverage of March Madness. So definitely be checking in pregame.tv, and we will be here.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.